Welcome to Find Your Lady Tribe. My name is Brenda.
And I am Michelle.
And it's our mission to build a community of lady tribes, a place to connect and grow your tribe with resources, ideas, workshops, retreats, and events. We invite you to join our inner circle and become a tribe leader. It's free!
Each week, we will start a conversation about connecting within your tribe and across all of our tribes. Our goal is to create 1,000 new lady tribes in 2022. And each episode will challenge you with a call to action. The first one is to join our inner circle. Go to tinyurl.com/myladytribe. And as a gratitude gift, we will send you a downloadable copy of Chapter 1 of Lady and the Tribe, The Awakening.
Yay! So please subscribe to be notified of a new episode each week. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us at Find Your Lady Tribe today. We have a true treat for you. We are with the lovely Mandy Lemond. And I tell you what, she has the most incredible story that I've ever heard. And we're going to let her share much of it with you today. But Michelle, would you just tell us a little bit about Mandy?
Yeah. So author Mandy Lemond is a former foster child turned Emmy Award-winning TV producer. Serving as a coach and a motivational speaker, Mandy helps others with her mantra of turn your mess into a message. And Mandy developed the 5 method, which is featured in her memoir, The Fostered One. She now speaks and serves globally as she's coaching and traveling internationally, speaking to divorcees, parents, and children of those incarcerated, as well as those coping with post-traumatic stress disorder. Welcome, Mandy.
We are just so glad you're here. And I mean, I just have to say right off the bat, I love your mess, make your mess into your message. So tell us your story.
Thank you guys so much for having me. First of all, I have a girl crush on both of you. So I want to put that out right now. I always look at the folks that I'm going to be speaking with, but I girl crushed on you guys and I want to be a part of, I don't know if I can get an honerary, sit in with you at some point.
Right here.
You're in right back at you. We're crushing on you too.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share. And I do believe that life, you can turn your mess into a message. I'll just start where it begins. Back in 1986, the story is a little graphic. So if you have children in the car or you're listening on a podcast, I'd recommend you listening to this by yourself. 1986, my father, high on drugs, broke into our home and stabbed my mother brutally 40 times. I was looking at some work today that I'm doing, editing my book, and it said, the police report said he admitted trying to gut her like a pig. He was so angry. But that evening, not only did he stab her, but he also raped a 7-year-old me and stabbed me over a dozen times. I died on the way to the hospital from a collapsed lung. So I still deal with that these days. It's a little hot here in Florida today, so that brings it up. But with that said, no one wanted me. I was a biracial child in Eastern Kentucky in the 1980s, and no one wanted little orphan Mandy. So they sent me to a group home in Eastern Kentucky, the Pentecostal Children's Home in Eastern Kentucky, where I aged out of foster care. And I'm going to stop there and pause and say, do you realize that most days, and I'll give you the impact of the gravity of that, me being from 7 years old until 18 living in an orphanage. These days, children who are in foster care are only, because of a groundbreaking bill, are supposed to be within foster care for only 24 months. I was there for 11 years in a group home. No one wanted me. We see this overwhelming theme. So, but I ended up aging out and going to college. My biological mother's sister brought me and took me to Eastern Kentucky University, and she gave me $5. That's all I had, $5 to go to college for 4 years. And I remember standing there on Roy Kidd Stadium and looking and thinking at that $5 bill, okay, how do I eat? And then with that same tenacity, that I have lived my entire life with, just getting through resilience. I went and got a job, and I worked at the library. I worked as a residential assistant, and I also worked at a hotel. So I had 3 jobs while I was in college. And then I ended up getting married to what I thought was the love of my life. He's still one of my best friends, my ex-husband, and we could not have children. So we dealt with infertility. And if you've been, ladies listening to that, giving yourself the shots, and the weight gain, and just the emotional ride of trying to get pregnant just nearly destroyed us then. We ended up adopting a 3-year-old from state foster care. It's very similar and dear to my heart. And fast forward another 15 years later, and he became addicted to drugs via a gateway from he reconnected with his biological mother. High on drugs one night, unfortunately, he made a mistake. He was so high that he was arguing with someone on a text message about another foster child, and he shot into the wrong damn house. Those shots and those bullets ended up hitting a 5-year-old who is now permanently blind and disabled. The mother was also shot. So now we have a foster child who is now incarcerated, and he will be for quite some time. I ended up losing my mind. We'll say that word to keep it correct. But I found myself standing on a bridge here in Tampa, Florida, where I was thinking about ending my life. And I swear an angel walked up to me and said, "Hey, you know better than that. Don't do that." So from there, I have just literally taken this mess and now I've gotten a divorce. The incarceration of our son led to a divorce of a 20-year marriage. So after having what I thought was the perfect life, with the house with the gym inside it, and the bar, and the pool that rivals an Olympic pool, I had all those things, and I lost everything. I literally was destitute, had nothing. And I woke up one day and said, I'm not going to be a statistic. And I changed my mess into a message. I decided that I did something that people will tell you probably not to. I borrowed some money from a 401k, rebuilt my nest egg. It's back there now, but I literally am now an author. I just hosted my first TV show last night on E360 for Resilience Live TV, aptly named. And I've got some secrets that are coming out that shouldn't leave can, but I'd love to drop them here, but I can't yet. My agent messaged me today, and there's a really great opportunity for me coming up with this book and with some public appearances. So that's me in a nutshell.
Wow, what a story, and what an incredible life you have led. And you are just in the prime of your life now, beautiful, and so much to look forward to. And thank goodness on that bridge. And you said an angel, and I just want it to be clear that someone actually spoke to you, right?
Yes, literally, like a person. I've never said, I don't know if this is what God looks like. I'm getting chills telling you this. I don't know if this is what God looks like, but he was an older gentleman, kind of good looking, decent looking, but he literally, and I could have just been standing on that bridge, just looking at the water, but I think he saw something, or God saw, sorry, this makes me so, I think God just sent him to me that day, because I literally was just waiting for the traffic to pass, and I was going to jump. I literally was going to end my life. And just him looking, there was something, kindness in his eyes, the kindness of that stranger, that angel, God, whoever we want to call him, told me not to do that. And fast forward, and we are sitting here today, and I have a company now that is mine. I have a 15-year-old as well, along with our son Michael. He's thriving. My ex-husband is actually messaged me earlier, and he's coming down to visit me. So it all worked out. So that mess, I have decided to, rather than sit here and just keep it in my pocket like we often do as women, we often go through things, whether it's learning how to change something at the copier. I don't know if we're afraid to share things, but as a tribe, let's say it, as a tribe, we should share our defeats, because nothing you've been through will be wasted. TD Jakes said that, and it just resonates with me. Even if it's talking about coupon clipping, well, somebody had to do that the first time, and now we see where we are. I'm a couponer, so nothing you go through is wasted. Nothing, and you should share that. You're placed here to help other people. And if I literally stood at one point too, and when I was in Lexington, Kentucky, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, God, why are you putting this on me? Why are you putting this on me? And then the thought popped in my head, would you want someone else to go through what you've gone through? No, I'm not cruel. I'm not mean. So he doesn't put more on you than you can bear. And this has been an amazing journey.
Well, and thank you for bringing up and sharing the tough stuff. Our society and even our friendships over the last, decades have become so superficial. Social media, showing all your good stuff. Nobody's talking about the muck, that we actually live in, and the tough stuff.
Right.
And that's why we don't know where we belong or how we fit in. Can you talk about, making your mess your message, and in regards to your girlfriends, your tribe?
Oh my goodness. I have my two best girlfriends, Nicole and Crystal, have stuck by me this whole complete time. And when I was out of my head, whacked out of my gourd, they were still checking on me. But you know what? At that same time, when I say that, they were also going through their own mess at the time, if you will. I mean, nothing crazy, nothing compared to what I was dealing with. But I was, just as what you alluded to, I was afraid to share it with them because I didn't want to burden them. And also they were afraid to share it with me because they didn't want to burden me. But we sat down one day at a restaurant, El Mariachi in Lexington, Kentucky, and had a little hashtag, hash it out. And I promise you, that was also a pivotal moment in me deciding to continue and to push forward in being an author. They both said, listen, you're divorced. You've got a new lease on life. If you want to do this is your time to do that. Now, I'm not advocating everybody out running and leaving their husbands. But what I will say is that girl tribe, or your tribe, male, female, whoever it may be, if they are telling you something, sometimes people, our tribe, sees things in us that we don't see in ourselves. We often do that. But I just am so thankful for those two girls. One of them, they're my yin and yang. They're blonde head. One of them's blonde headed. One of them is African American, and one of them brings out the wild side of me, and the other one will sit down and crunch numbers with me. She's an accountant.
See, you need all kinds of tribe members to complement who we, what the things that you need in life.
Totally.
Right. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I want to know more about making the message from the mess. And so how did you do that? And how can you tell us and our tribes where to start?
Yes. I love that question because I don't get asked that very often. It's a how-to question, and I'm writing a how-to book on this. I just talked to my agent. She said, you need to have another project. You're getting bored. So when you're looking at your life and you're thinking, okay, I'm going through a divorce, I'm going to ask you to do something, and we'll get to the 5 and the 5 resiliency in a second. But one of the things I want you to do as you're going through your mess, keep a journal. It seems so simple, whether it's on your phone or whatnot. And that is part of the 5. If you sit down with yourself and you look back and think, my God, and I've looked at myself and I've got journals all over the place, and I've looked at myself and I've thought, okay, did I really feel that way? Or was that just that moment? Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at how to turn your mess into a message, you have a niche. You have something that that is so easy to you, whether it's sewing, running, biking. Everybody has something that is so innate and natural to them. For me, it's speaking and writing. My foster mother at the children's home noticed very, very early on that I did not mind being in front of the camera. When they would shove the kids out there, I didn't mind being in front of the camera. I didn't mind being in front of people. So she pushed upon me to go to get a degree in broadcasting. So what I would recommend for you is, as you are sitting looking at your life and the mess, or even just your daily life, and you're miserable at that 9-to-5 job, do you have old secrets that you can help someone else with? It really comes down to helping other people. So if you can chase the dollars, you can chase the money, but when you chase that emotional connection with folks, that's when your business will take off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gosh. So many, you've got so much. I want to talk about so many different things. Tell us about your book.
Oh my goodness. So the fostered one starts with a story of me eating my own vomit at the orphanage. Now, not every foster parent and group home member is fantastic, but there was a lady, and I believe in manifestation and Jesus as well, if you can cross counter that.
Yeah.
But I was sitting here, you can. I was talking to the publisher of the book, and he asked a question, are you going to be sued for any of this stuff? Are these people, where are these people? And I thought to myself, this lady's dead, and you know what she died of? She died of stomach cancer. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. I did not wish that on her, but she made me mine and other children. So my book starts out with the first time that I threw up my own puke, I threw it up again for a second serving. That's how my book starts. So the book, it entails my life as a child, me, and then it flashes back to the night of my mother dying. But in that, there's also sprinkled stories of other foster children who have dealt with similar things but did not survive. I'm thinking of Michaela Watkins, who is a story that I covered when I was a TV reporter. And I think about her just being so, the phone call that I got. This girl had just been in the newsroom with me as a foster child and a foster parent. I would have foster kids come in and tour the newsroom, and I would be so excited about that. But days later, Michaela ended up going not back to her foster parents, but to her biological parents. And she was beaten so brutally that a child who was 42 pounds was beaten so brutally, they had to, they could barely identify her. So those stories about foster kids are sprinkled throughout, but there's also those victories. There's children, there's like Mama Reese, who refused to let her son Pell go with us to church one weekend because she didn't trust us. So, and she called and made sure that they were, there's so stories like that. And then there's stories of my ex-husband proposing to me at the Vatican. So it's not all negative, but within it, there is also the story of the five method that I've developed and work with the folks, how you can build that resilience and continue, even if you're just sitting in traffic, how you can calm yourself enough, because your frustration and stress creates cortisol, which creates belly fat, and girls, we don't want any belly fat. So we are calming ourselves down, we are relaxing, and we are using the 5 method to rebuild ourselves as we sit in the moment.
Well, let's talk about the 5 method now then, if
Yes.
that's okay. Could you
share? Sure, perfect. So we're going to do it together. So think about the frustration moment. I hate to bring it up with you that you've had today. We're all running around. It's Friday trying to get through the week. In that first 5 seconds, when you're feeling that moment, anger, frustration, anything outside of I hate to say Zen, but a Zen moment, anything outside of that, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, are you safe? And then all of a sudden, oh wait, my shoulders relax. I'm in traffic. I'm in my car. My kid's screaming and throwing things, but I'm safe. And that will lower your cortisol, and it changes the emotional and physical response within your body. Okay, you're safe. Second, now we're on number 2. Now that we're safe, we're going to ask ourselves the question, we've all said this to our kids, is this going to matter in the next 5 minutes? Okay, you're going to delineate. Is it truly going to matter in the next 5 minutes? I'm going to be late, possibly. My kid is throwing a fit. That's true. But how I react, number 3, how I react within that 5 seconds, going back to number 1, I'm safe. They're safe if I'm in a safe position. Number 4, we are going to look at ourselves and say, okay, now how do I want to see myself in this next moment, the next time this happened? Because now you've calmed yourself by putting yourself into a future. And then the last 5, I'm going to ask you to write down how you feel in that moment. Whether you have to voice text it, and then I want you to come back to that and say, did I really feel that way, or was that a moment? And after you've developed that, you can go through that so many numerous times to realize that you're changing your own body chemistry to deal with stress much easier.
That is really excellent, because those moments you just are so hyped up. We were having some technical difficulties, and I was like, I hate being late. And we've had miscommunications. Just seems like everything left and right was going wrong. But am I safe? Yes. All the great questions to just tone it down, ground yourself, and be able to move forward from that. Just take a breath.
Yes, it really does come down to just simply sometimes taking that breath and asking. It became very poignant to me for asking myself, am I safe? And the physical and emotional response that I would have, because honestly, dealing with a child, I'll be realistic with you. Michael was a foster child who had a lot of trouble when we adopted him. And there will be moments where we were screaming at each other. And now my parenting skills with my 15-year-old, when he starts acting crazy, the moment I can look at myself and I can say, am I safe? Is he safe? And that changes my emotional response, because fear is usually about, survival. So if you can define that you are safe and you are going to survive that moment. Now, honestly, if somebody's trying to kill you, you're not going to want to do the 5. But if you can sit down and realize that you're safe, it's going to change your emotional response, and it's going to change your ability not only parent, but also look through a different lens.
Yeah, wonderful. And so as you are helping people, Mandy, do you coach women in
I
groups
do.
or
I do.
one-on-one?
Yes.
Who's
That
like
is
your perfect client?
someone like me who has had a show. because honestly, when I look at people who come to me and they're like, okay, my biggest problem is, well, I can't really balance the checkbook. Okay, well, I'm gonna set you up on that, because I was a mortgage loan officer for a while. I'm a jack of all trades. I was a mortgage loan officer, but I'm going to sit down with someone. My ideal client, I love that. My ideal client is someone who is so on the edge, and me seeing their potential, just like my friends saw in mine, our tribe sees in us, and I can help them. So I do take clients. I'm super, super excited to share that service. And the first consult, the first 30-minute consult is free. And then we map out a plan for you. Maybe you want to meet with me twice a week. Maybe you want to meet with me one time and just spill your guts to someone who is not involved in the situation. Because how many times have we truly sat down with our girlfriends and be like, you know what? Your husband's your husband's not that bad. And I'm like, yes, he is. He's horrible. He's a horrible person. I'm joking. And that would be what we would say. But when you're talking to strangers, sometimes we have a tendency to not want to seek mental health and mental health therapy. But the service that I provide is simply a listening ear sometimes. And I've had so much life experience. I am 43. I don't look it, but I am 43. And I've had so much life experience through adoption, foster care, trauma, PTSD, divorce, all of those things. And I've come out on the other side, and the techniques that I provide, not only teaching you, the book that I'm writing is about a modern day divorce. So the new one that's coming out in January. So just that ability to be able to share with our new tribe of women who have gone through divorce, or who are going to go, or think about it, if you've contemplated it, how you can do it amicably, how you can do it so you don't lose your mind, and how you can do it so that you're not sitting here going you're not doing the 5 every day. But that's one of the things that I'm working on.
Awesome. So it's so important for women, especially, to know that they have value enough to invest in a coach. What do you have to say to the women who kind of just
don't think they can,
don't think they should? Or
no, I'm going to say something to you, and it might hurt some feelings. How many times are you going to Starbucks a week, but you won't go to the gym? You're worried about why your clothes aren't fitting, but you're going to Starbucks, and it's too expensive. Starbucks, honey, the cheapest thing on there is $3.99. $3.99 times how many 30 days? $90. But you won't invest in yourself. We do that as women. We will give and give and give. Your son does not need that third pair of shoes. But what you do need to be there in his life is to sit down with someone like myself who has the ability to help you get the capacity to move past those moments, so that you're not running to Starbucks every day. I went from a point in my life where I was almost 275 pounds, and now I'm 140, by not only cutting out Starbucks, but by healing and making myself what I wanted, like the visual of what I wanted, and speaking life to myself. But I had to see what I said. I had to speak to myself.
Right.
And that's very important.
Right. Well, a lot of women think, that they want to give everything to do everything for their family, but your family and your son and your kids want you to be whole. They want this for you too. So you're doing your family a favor as well when you seek help. So how do our listeners and viewers find you? We will list all of your links and stuff in the body of both on YouTube and in the podcasting. But you can shout out real quick how people can find you.
It's easy. My real name is Amanda, just regular spelling, and my last name is Lemond. So if you'll go to my website, Amanda Lemond, and there's a D on the end of it, .com, you have the ability to book a consult there with me, or just simply shoot me an email. I'm not one of those people. Of course, I want to make a living, but I'm not money hungry. I would much rather celebrate someone's success than buy another pair of shoes. I would much rather help a new friend, than be able to try. I'd love to travel, but it's so much more important to be able to save someone and help someone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for that. Do you have a challenge or a call to action for the women in our community?
Yeah.
Yes, I want you to, and I said this on my resilience. The Spirit's been speaking to me about this. If you will reach out to 5 people that you have not spoken to recently, build your tribe. Continue building that tribe. Continue if it's a simple text that says hi, if they respond, that's great. But what I'm asking you to do when you do that is you're not only building yourself back up and opening yourself up to friendship and love and grace and someone else who could possibly help you and teach you something, but you're also sharing your life with them, and they may be missing you. You never know who's missing you. That simple hi can change a lot of things.
Yeah.
They probably are missing you.
It's
I love that. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
No, not questions. I just want to love on you and tell you that I, after speaking with you before and getting to meet with you and just hearing about you, I walked by my 29-year-old son today and I said, honey, if any of us ever again think that there is anything anywhere that we cannot get over, that we cannot overcome, that I met the lady who will prove us wrong 100 times, even if it takes an angel pulling her back from the edge. And so I used that inspiration to give him a little shot in the arm that I don't want to hear anything about anything being ever too hard, because there is always an angel to pull us back and to hold us up. And you have done that in your book and in your work. So thank you.
You're making me cry.
Yeah,
you're a pretty crier too.
You give us all hope, and to know that we can overcome hard things and still come out of it joyful and happy.
Yeah.
That's what I see in you. And thank you so much for being a part of our tribe, because when 3 or more gather, we are tribe. Thank you so much for joining us today for Find Your Lady Tribe. Would you do us a favor and hit that like button and add a comment? It'll really help us grow.
Better yet, find the share arrow and share out to your tribe. Join us again next week on YouTube or your favorite podcast service.